dripping Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Blow make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey you want us, red run when I tell a bit peace. Love is love. Love is love. Adios. Bendo with the switch again. Boy deliver like he heffinin'. Core with digits, give him estimates. Somersaults for my Benjamins. Look, came through dripping Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Blow make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey you want us, red run when I tell a bit peace. Love is love. Love is love. Adios. Love is love. Love is love. Adios. Love is love. Love is love. Adios.
Today's review is sponsored by the Seasons Creator Premium Game Ball. Not only does this ball come in a variety of different colors and designs, but it also performs at an extremely high level and has become my personal go-to basketball whenever I go out to hoop. So if you want to be a creator or you just want to spice up your gym bag, go ahead and check out the Seasons Creator Premium Game Ball with the link in the description box below. All right, guys, so we're finally here, the performance review for the Nike Adapt BB, the world's first auto-lacing basketball sneaker. This was a shoe that had so many questions about it when it first dropped, because obviously people wanted to know about that self-lacing technology, but they were also curious about the materials, the cushioning, the traction, the support, the whole thing. This shoe has so many questions about it, and whenever I'd wear them on the court, people would come up to me, complete strangers, and ask me a ton of questions. I had more questions about this shoe than any other shoe that I've ever tested before. So I'm gonna do my best to try to answer those questions and more in this review. But I know what you guys want. I know why you guys clicked on this video. You guys want to know about that self-lacing technology. Is it just a gimmick? Does it actually work? And does it even make sense to have this type of technology on a basketball sneaker? So without further ado, let's get straight into it. When you first set your foot into the Adapt BBs via the Adapt app on your smartphone, the shoe will automatically adjust to your foot, and from there, you can fine-tune the fit to your liking. Now for me personally, I had the lacing system set a little above the middle initially because the forefoot was pretty narrow and it was pinching my foot quite a bit, especially this lateral sidewall area where the Nike swoosh kind of begins and there's a mini swoosh there as well. This lateral side piece was digging into the side of my foot and it was pretty painful. This only happened to me on the left side of the shoe, and I thought that was kind of weird. So I asked a couple of my buddies who also have the Adapts if they were experiencing the same thing, and a few of them confirmed that only the left shoe was digging into the side of their foot. So that's obviously weird. I don't really know what's going on here. It could be a problem with the mold of that side of the shoe and that particular piece. I have no idea. All I know is for the first week or so, it was a pretty uncomfortable feeling. However, after I broke them in, I was able to lace these up near their max settings without experiencing any problems whatsoever. And I actually kept the lacing system near those max settings because I felt like it gave me the best lockdown fit. Now, as for the fit overall and how they actually feel, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not amazing. They're not gonna blow you away. And if they do blow you away, it's because the fit is pretty good. Like I said, for what they are, a self-lacing basketball sneaker. I mean, it's pretty impressive what Nike was able to pull off here, but you could totally tell that the Adapt BBs are a very early step in what hopefully Nike continues to work and improve on. Whenever I would switch out the Adapts for something like the LeBron 16s, my foot instantly could tell that the fit in the LeBrons was a way more refined experience because I was able to adjust the lacing system, albeit manually, at a whole different level than the Adapts, because with these, you can't lace up the forefoot more than the midfoot or more than the collar. It's just kind of all the same tightness. I did find, however, that the midfoot had the most secure fit. The collar area is where I have the most issues. I felt like the fit in this area was way too lackluster. There was way too much wiggle room and it just was not a secure enough fit around my ankle. I mean, this isn't a huge deal breaker. I definitely played in a lot worse. Like I said, it gets the job done. But when you ask somebody the question, is it even worth having self-lacing sneakers on the basketball court? The Adapt BBs aren't gonna make you wanna say yes, but there are some pretty cool features that come with the self-lacing sneaker. For example, when you get to the gym and you're all ready to ball, all you have to do with these is put your foot in the shoe and boom, you're done. You don't have to do anything else. the shoe will automatically lace itself. And I know this doesn't sound like a big deal to some of you guys because lacing up your sneakers isn't that long of a process anyways, but trust me guys, not only is this a much faster experience, but it's just awesome. It's going to make your life that much easier. And it's really one of those things you're not going to appreciate until you experience it for yourself. Another thing that I really loved about this motorized self-lacing system was the ability to make quick changes in a matter of seconds. There was a few times out there on the floor where I just wanted the shoe to fit me tighter or even looser, and all I had to do was reach down and press one single button. All right, so I know you guys are getting anxious and you just want to know at the end of the day if the fit is good enough and does it work. And for me personally, I'd say yes. Like I said, what Nike was able to do here is nothing short of spectacular, because when it comes to basketball sneakers, and as a basketball player, you're moving in multiple directions at different speeds in a moment's notice, and you need to be confident that your shoe is going to stick with you at all times. So when it comes to that, the Adapt BBs hold their own. I mean, I do wish the fit was a little closer to my foot, especially in the collar area. But even as I say that, I didn't experience any slipping within the shoe itself. So that tells me that the lacing system did its job. So I think moving forward, Nike needs to find a way to get these to sit a little closer to your foot, just so the user could have a second skin-like experience. Now moving along to other aspects of the Adapt BBs, in my opinion, the traction is easily its best performing feature. Nike uses a simple blade and radial pattern on the outsole, and despite being made of translucent rubber, which I know makes a lot of you guys nervous, the traction held up extremely well on most courts. Now it is worth mentioning that even on clean floors, there were a few instances where the traction would slip on really hard stops and plants. You can see in this clip that I skid a little bit on my foot during a step back, and that's definitely something you don't want to see happen, but these instances were way too far in between for me to really complain about them. And overall, like I said, the traction was easily the Adapt BB's best feature. It was squeaky, responsive, a little bit inconsistent, but still an overall fantastic setup. What isn't as fantastic as the traction might surprise you. The cushion setup is made of a full-length Cushlon midsole, which has been used in other models like the Kyrie 4s, but instead of implementing zoom in the heel like the Kyries, the Adapt BBs don't have zoom at all. It's just full-length Cushlon, which is a good setup, but it's not the best that Nike has to offer. You would think for a sneaker that's going to cost you at least $350, then Nike would want to bring out the best of the best, especially for the world's first self-lacing sneaker. But instead, we just get full-length Cushlon, which is a solid setup. And I was actually kind of surprised how much feedback this Cushlon midsole was giving me. But to me, Cushlon is a less exciting version of Bounce, but it's still good. I mean, it has its place in the sneaker community. I'm just not sure a $350 sneaker is the right home for it. All right, now let's switch gears and talk about something that I really loved about these, and that would be the materials. Nike uses their fan favorite Flyknit material to go alongside their quad axle lacing system, and in the end, the results are a very comfortable experience that is both soft and supportive. The upper itself has a little bit of stretch, and it actually kind of reminds me of a more coarse version of Primeknit, which shouldn't be taken in a negative way. It just has a slight plastic coating that is going to help its overall durability, but it really doesn't have an effect of its overall comfortability, because your foot is mainly going to be touching this heavily padded tongue that kind of acts as a barrier to keep that quad axle lacing system from touching the top of your foot. Overall, I think that Nike really killed it here with the materials, but in the future, I would like to see this heavily padded tongue be a little bit more low profile, because like I talked about earlier, the Adapt BBs don't really sit that close to your foot, and that's kind of a common theme here with this sneaker, because honestly, the support of this shoe, it's kind of clunky. The heel and collar area is made out of a much more stiff and rigid material than the rest of the shoe, which does provide some great structure and stability, but it just felt a little cumbersome around my ankle. But I do love that low profile heel cup that wraps around the heel, and I think Nike could have gotten away with a softer material in the collar and left that external heel cup to carry most of the load. Another support feature that was kind of hit or miss for me was the lateral outrigger. The outsole extends a little bit, and usually that provides some great lateral stability, but if you don't have perfect footwork, you might find yourself tripping over the outrigger on the Adapts, because as you can see in this clip, as I'm sliding down the court, the outrigger gets caught on the floor and I kind of stumble a bit here, which can be pretty annoying, especially if it happens more than once. But if I did the same movement in something like the Kyrie 5s, that rounded outsole of the Kyries would have allowed me to land on the floor more smoothly without any hiccups, like you're seeing here with the adapts. At the end of the day, I think the support here is sufficient enough for a variety of playstyles, although it does seem to be geared more towards wing players. And I say that because as a quick guard, sometimes my feet is moving a lot faster than my brain, and the adapts just couldn't keep up with my less than ideal footwork in a couple of instances. But that doesn't mean they're terrible. It's still good. There's just a couple of bumps in the road that make these a slightly frustrating experience. All right, so to wrap things up, let's try to answer 2 questions. First, are the Adapt BBs a good basketball sneaker? And second, should you buy them? Now, to answer your first question, for me, I had a lot of fun playing in these, and the whole self-lacing system is a pretty cool idea. And like I said, I think there is some room for improvement, but overall, I love what it did have to offer. And the rest of the shoe performed at a decent level. I mean, some areas performed better than others, but overall, it's a solid shoe, and I think you'll be happy with it if you decide to pick them up. But that's the question. Should you drop $350 on a sneaker that isn't necessarily an elite encore performer? In my opinion, if you're interested in the Adapt BBs and you can afford it, I think you should definitely pick these up because like I said, these are an absolute blast to play in. I mean, it's pretty surreal to play in a sneaker that just snaps onto your foot because it honestly feels like you're playing in a sneaker from the future. That's really what it feels like, and that to me is worth the price of admission alone. But if you're on the fence about these, or you think $350 is just way too steep no matter what the sneaker does, I want to go out of my way to pick these up because other than that self-lacing system, these aren't going to blow you out of the water. But I do want to just say one thing. You never know what you might end up regretting 10 to 15 years from now. So there you guys have it. That was a performance review for the Adapt BBs. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer you as soon as possible. If you enjoyed this review, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel by clicking on my logo right over here for more performance reviews just like this. My name's Jaron. It's been great having you. Catch you in the next one. Peace.